Here we go. Here we go. I've had a few people ask me about doing a MPG run with the EcoBoost, which is this one, and a PowerBoost. I am going to do a 0 to 60 test as well to show the acceleration. Now, if you don't know, this is a hybrid, and this is just ice. I borrowed these trucks from Larry H. Miller, Super Ford here in Salt Lake City. Be sure to ask for Nick. He's the one that helped me with the keys today. Let's go ahead and drive the PowerBoost first. This is probably my second time driving a PowerBoost, and these are pretty remarkable trucks. I think that when it comes down to the power delivery, I think it's probably the best in the market, unless you're trying to put in the high performance models. But when you punch it, it has a ton of power, so I can't wait to show that to you guys here in a second. For now, we're going to just drive just normal. Now, as far as drive modes go, you do have a few down here. We're going to select Eco mode. I'm going to do the exact same with that EcoBoost. And the reason why is I want to really get an idea of the, changes, because I think that you do see some slight changes with the hybrid. Now, why would you buy the hybrid PowerBoost for? Obviously, if you do a lot of city driving, this engine would 100% be a big savings. Now, if you're doing a lot of highway driving, I think the EcoBoost is a better buy, because you're not going to see any big difference between the fuel economy numbers between these two trucks. Now, both of them are pretty much XLT trim levels, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to make sure it was apples to apples. And when you're driving these, I'm an HD guy. These trucks drive like cars. Like, they're so soft, and they have somewhat of a sporty feel. Like, this one has the Goodyear Wrangler Territory AT tires, so they're a little aggressive, not much, but low road noise. I'm going about 50 miles an hour. The steering feel on this truck is nice. It does have a manual tilt telescopic steering wheel, which is okay. If you go to a Lariat, which is an extra up, you get power. But it's super quiet. You hear a little bit of like wind noise somewhere over here, but otherwise it's a really great performing pickup truck. I think I would pick the EcoBoost if it were me, my money. Even though it's not a ton of money to buy this, I do a lot of highway driving. Although I do like hybrids. If I had to choose between an EV and a hybrid, the hybrid would win every single time, even if there's a lot more negatives. And it's only because I like the idea of a combustion engine, right? But visibility, I always say this, but I don't like the mirrors on Ford trucks. They sit too low, and I don't know, I always have a hard time adjusting them to be perfect for me. There's no convex, which is another negative, but apart from that, this truck is great. Big steering wheel. I feel like it's not as big as the HDs or the Super Duties, but I mean, it's a big steering wheel, which I like. At 65 miles an hour, you guys can see we're at, it looks to be about 1,600 RPMs. I thought there was a way to show the number. I think there may be. I don't have time to look right now. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. So the reason why this is such a cool pickup truck is when you're on the highway, you guys see the RPMs now? We're just on electric mode right now. So when you're just kind of cruising, that is a nice advantage. So I guess I have to take that back. I forget that these can drive on all electric mode when you're on the highway. But you guys saw, well, it just kicked back on just now because I need a little bit of acceleration. Now let's get up to 75 miles an hour so you guys can see those RPMs. Now this truck has that 373 rear, so you're gonna run a higher RPM on this truck, which is not a bad thing. I mean, they probably just needed that gearing for, actually I don't even know why, honestly. The 10-speed should do all the work, right? Yeah, 75 miles an hour, we're just under 2,000 RPMs. So again, I still stand by what I said. If you're doing a lot of highway driving, I don't think that this PowerBoost is gonna give you that much benefit. The highway MPG is 24, but the city is 22. So that's where you pick up the biggest advantage. And you're not buying this 100% for fuel economy because you're not gonna be saving that much, as you guys just heard. 24, 22 ain't that great, but it's a pickup truck and it's up there, you know, in terms of that. If I ever have a chance, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I will try to put this up against a Toyota Tundra, which I think would be a great comparison between the two trucks. So here are the numbers on the door. You guys will see the gross vehicle weight rating is going to be 7,400 pounds. And all in, this truck has a payload of 1,636 pounds. We just got off. And here's where we are, 25.1 MPGs. You guys can see we've driven 7.3 miles for total, and then for electric 1.2. Now the biggest advantage of this truck, as I said, is city. So right now, this is where the hybrid is always going to win. When you're sitting at lights often, this is where you're going to get the most advantage, because even though the EcoBoost now has the stop-start function, it doesn't work that great in the summertime. Like you guys can probably see right there, it's supposed to be over 100 degrees today. So when you think about those types of temperatures, you're never going to have your stop-start function on. But on the hybrid, it always works. Now, let's see if I can show you the temperature. So they do give you the measurements here. There they are. So engine coolant is 199, transmission is 159, and then engine oil temp is 179. They don't have a turbo boost inside of there, but I believe you can set that up. And if I have a chance, maybe I'll show it to you guys. As far as the brakes go, because you have the regenerative braking, the brakes aren't touchy until you push down more. So once you push a slight, it's not touchy, but when you push more, it's touchy. But the good news is, if you time your braking correctly, you will always be in regenerative braking to, you know, recharge those batteries. Now, I don't think I need to do this, but I'll just do it anyways, right? Just to show you guys the sound level inside the truck. I gotta do it before we get up further because the roads are a little messy, so they're just a little bit louder. So here we go. So 60 at 65 miles an hour. 67 by the window and out back. If you have young kids, it's quiet back there, 61. But at 63 miles an hour, I mean, this is really comfortable. I mean, the only thing I would want is ventilated seats. Like when it's this hot outside, this is the only reason why I like the higher trim levels, because those are just some features you definitely want in these hotter climates. One last thing, this does have Blue Cruise, so you can do hands-free driving. And did I mention this is a lower trim level? Yeah, pretty cool. So here is the hybrid. It does not look like one until you see those orange lines right there. But 430 horsepower and 570 pound-feet of torque. It's big power. All that goes through a 10-speed transmission, 3.5 liter displacement, and port and direct injection. Let's see how it accelerates to 60. Here we go.
30. 60.
7.20 is not bad at all. Now this truck does not have 4 auto, so I did not put it in sport mode because I didn't really see a need to. Normally when you put it in sport mode, it will put it in 4 automatic, but because it doesn't have it, it's going to perform about the same. And as you guys heard, the tires were skirting almost for about a few feet, I would say. Now at the very end, you guys will see here. All right, move out of the way. 23.7 MPG, 15.1 miles driven. That is pretty good. Now we're driving the EcoBoost. And one thing I do already miss is when you start up that hybrid truck, you don't hear the engine, it just comes on with the electric mode. So while you're just getting all situated inside the truck, you're not even using fuel. When you hit that button on this truck, that engine's on and it's burning fuel. So again, it's all in what you're looking for. I feel as though this truck is kind of a get in and go type vehicle, and it's going to be cheaper up front because you're not having to purchase that extra hybrid system, right? But hey, I mean, both trucks ride pretty much the same because there's no difference in the suspension. That hybrid truck is going to be a little bit heavier, and you'll see that in the video when I show you guys the numbers on the door on this one compared to that one. But I don't know what to say, actually. I mean, this is probably the better truck to buy for most people. Really, for people who are planning on keeping them for more than 5 years. I think after 5 years, electric motors, batteries, all those things start to show signs of age. Internal combustion engines, they do or can start to show signs of aging, but when you get over 100,000 miles, you really can tell a difference in the hybrid system. So for me personally, if you are in a state where you can lease those trucks, that's the best way to get them, I think, personally. Like leasing a PowerBoost, and then after 3 years, you know, looking for another one, or maybe looking for something different, I don't know. But yeah, same story. Because they're both XLTs, you have that manual control here. And I'm going to show you guys the RPMs in a second, but this truck does seem just a little bit louder. Same tires, same trim, no sunroof, but this one's just a little bit louder. And I don't know why that is. It's interesting. Now this one doesn't have a spray up bed liner. I mean, it could be. I mean, I don't know. I could be stretching that. Maybe that bed kind of creates a little bit of sound deadening, you know, for noise, but that's on the bed though. I don't know. But this truck is noticeably louder for sure. Shockingly, the RPMs look about the same. Now this truck has a 355, right? And we're right at 1600 RPMs, just like that PowerBoost. Interesting. Now let's get up to 75. There we go. So at 75 miles an hour, it is a little bit lower. But see, a 355 versus a 373 is not a big difference. A 373 versus a 321, you will see a major difference in the RPMs. But 355, 373, they're pretty close. I almost wondered they should have just ran a 355 with a PowerBoost. I mean, they might have even picked up a little bit more MPG on it, on the sticker, but on this one, it's showing 24 on the highway, 16 in the city. So as I said, that's why you buy the PowerBoost. For the EcoBoost, you're gonna have a 7,100 pound gross vehicle weight reading, and all-in payload is 1,764 pounds. Just got off, and I'm actually surprised by this. Where were we at? We were at 25.1. If I got that wrong, maybe I'll post it here. I think we were at 25.1 when we stopped. So we're a little bit behind. Now, as you guys know, we were driving in the city just a little bit, right? And so that could affect it a little bit, but not that much city driving. But we are a little bit behind, which is obviously not bad, because you have to keep in mind the amount of money you're saving not getting that hybrid, you're picking it up here, right? So let's go ahead and talk about the noise inside the interior. I figured since we have this Blue Cruise, why not just use this instead of having to drive, right? So here it is. Actually, no, this isn't accurate. I'm sorry. I'm driving next to a loud truck. That's the only thing bad about these tests, is I have to be really mindful of what I'm doing, because, again, this thing is pretty darn good. It will pick up. I think it was showing, what, 65, 67 in there? Alright, so I just got around that truck. There's another truck in front of me, so let's do this fast. $63, there's 64. 66. 63. So it's a little bit louder in here. I can clearly tell that it's a little bit louder. It's not bad, but you can definitely tell that there's just a little bit more noise on the interior of this truck. Every truck's a little different too. I mean, you'd be surprised how this small little tweaks between every truck being built can make a difference in the sound level inside of the truck. But all in all, I mean, like I said, this is still a really good contender in the marketplace. You get hands-free driving. That is so cool to have on such a low trim level. I know that these trucks are expensive, but when you think about all the nice features that you get, it's pretty darn cool. completely forgot to show you guys the gauges. 203, 179, and 190. I think that this truck is definitely a little bit warmer. Actually, this dropped down to 198. So about the same, I would say. Ford has done it right. They got in early with this twin turbo V6, and today it's probably one of the best engines on the market today. Now it's going to be putting out 400 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. All that power goes through a 10-speed transmission. Let's see how it accelerates to 60. Here we go.
Fuji. 60.
Just got back. We finished off at 21.4 MPGs. 15.1 miles driven, just like the last one. Not bad. So what'd you guys think about that video? The PowerBoost is definitely a good option. I think a lot of people are going to find this truck probably at the top of their list if they are city drivers. Now this hybrid system does show a premium of $3,560 versus the EcoBoost being just $1,660. So if you don't know, if you're looking at an XLT model, they come standard with that 2.7 liter EcoBoost. And of course, if you get up to a Lariat plus any other trim, you'll have that 5 liter available standard for the Lariat. And then from there, the EcoBoost becomes standard. But I felt as though, and I'm really shocked by the 0 to 60, I felt like the EcoBoost, which is this white truck here, was faster off the line, but nope. The PowerBoost took it off the line all the way up to 60 miles an hour, as you guys see here. But I don't know. As I said, if I were to get a PowerBoost, I think I would lease it. Because as I said, I've had older hybrids in the past, and it seems like the system gets fatigued over the course of time. And I'm only assuming that these will probably have the same situation. But if you are looking to keep it long term, that's just something you have to consider. But I definitely like the EcoBoost. They have pretty much the same internals on the engines, and they perform really well. And as you guys can see, you can get over 20 plus MPG on the highway. Now, after the 0 to 60, I did drop down about 2.5, so a little bit more, fuel was being used, because I think the electric system helps off the line, which is probably why I was able to get off the line a little bit quicker. But I hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to subscribe to your channel. Make sure your bell notifications are on. See you guys soon.